she did not get a true gold card. She got a souvenir gold card from the President of the United States. So now she's fed up, and also she got laughed at the Grammys and all these different things. And now she feels validated. And like I said, this whole crash out isn't validated because you got humiliated in front of the entire United States. You got humiliated in front of all your friends. And I heard some reports of people saying that she came to the black community, nobody supported her. Now she's going to MAGA, who is now supporting her. Is it really support, or is it really just using you to get ahead within the next midterm? Because I saw a lot of her fans are actually supporting her, even people who are part of the LGBT community. So it's crazy. This whole situation it baffles me, and I can rant about this all day. But like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. If you want me to make another video about, breaking down the clips of what she talked about within the interview, I'll do that as well.
Super Bowl 60 tickets are selling quickly, and the average cost is higher than last year's in New Orleans.
$4,000, $6,000, $12,000.
Seattle Seahawks fans are breaking the piggy bank for a trip to Santa Clara. Afternoon ticket prices to the big game were starting at $7,000.
For many fans, the dream of attending the biggest sporting event in the country is quickly becoming out of reach. Ticket prices are soaring to unprecedented heights.
You're gonna either pay your bill or you're gonna go to the game.
The Super Bowl now less than 2 weeks away. Ticket prices are leaving some local fans in shock.
Only the rich can do it. The middle income can't do it.
This is a Super Bowl ticket from 1996. Back then, you could go for $200. Now let's look at tickets from 2026. And as you can see, bro, things have changed. To help illustrate this massive shift, this is my boy Joey Ab, the average Joe. Dude makes exactly the median household income in each decade since the Super Bowl started. He's the average American, going to the Super Bowl from the 70s all the way to today. By the way, every single dollar on this chart has been adjusted for inflation, so it's in today's money. In the 70s, tickets was 120 bucks, and Joey made $4,500 a month. So my dude cops a ticket, goes to the game, and his pockets don't feel no pain at all. By the 90s, the gap has barely shrunk. Now Joe's making $5,400 a month. These Super Bowl tickets, they gonna run him for $50. Now he's gotta think a little bit harder about dropping that money. But at the end of the day, it's the Super Bowl, bro. Now the 2000s are tricky because his income has only grown by a couple $100. And yeah, he can still afford the ticket, but it's worth pointing out, the prices have doubled. Now the 2010s is where things get a little crazy. Joe's making over $5,800 a month, but all of a sudden, one Super Bowl ticket costs over half his monthly income. Now it's different because we talking about rent, we talking about car note, bro, we talking about food. Super Bowl tickets just went from an impulse buy to something you gotta plan for months in advance. But if you think that's something, check out today.
If you think that's something, check out today.
Joey's bringing home $6,000 a month. Bro, if this was the 70s, dude would be balling. But his rent's more expensive, car note's more expensive, and his insurance premium can make a grown man cry. On top of that, the average Super Bowl ticket that's available to regular fans costs $8,000. So we've gone from the cost of 2 video games to more than he makes in an entire month. And that's not even considering travel, hotels, parking. And I know you ain't have no intention on eating. Again, this is just to get your boy.
I know you ain't had no intention on eating.
Why this happens is
sandwich, fries, and
it's 6 words.
It
People
costs
trying to
$400.
make more money. And we need
$400
it.
one
On this
person.
earth, it's essential. Though there is a
$400
lot
per
of
person.
space between need and
400.
but the real story ain't found in the why. In this case, the good story is found in the how. How did we ever get to this point?
Why don't you explain this to me like I am an 8-year-old?
You got this shady dude, these rich guys, for grainy footage and a host of characters. And once you put them together, they tell the story of the most expensive ticket in all of sports.
Only the rich can do it.
About $6,000, $12,000.
Middle income can't do it.
Somebody won the lottery. I did.
The
Somebody
Super
won the
Bowl
lottery, I
didn't
did.
just come out the gates as the cultural phenomenon it is today. Early games weren't played in these massive stadiums. Half the time, they still couldn't fill up the seats. Back then, tickets were sold like normal tickets. Anyone could buy one and then go to the game. In the years to come, this will become unthinkable. If you want tickets to the NFL Gala, either know the right people or they gotta know you. Now, the Super Bowl has always been a neutral site game. And only twice in history has a team made the Super Bowl in the same year it was hosted in their city. So you always had those local buyers and then fans of the participating team. And early on, that was pretty much the Super Bowl vibe. The people in the city and fans of the two teams. But there
Yeah,
was
say
always
hi to them.
another presence.
Say hi to the 8 people in my life.
Corporate sponsors have always been at these games. But there was
Get a job, pal.
You're late.
But in 1969, something changed. With 150 million Americans.
Your job is to send me messages like this with beyond the human comprehension. And now, because of your message, we are all 10% dumber. And every second we get 10% dumber, we are 100% dumber for your 3-second message. Upon me reading your message for 3 minutes, I am approximately 300% dumber. Based on the people watching this channel, everyone is now 3,000% dumber because of your message after 2 minutes of exposure at jworld.w.
Oasis is not my generation. YouTube is for people. Robots in decline. Tell your mama. Maybe she'll care.
The major sports leagues made 2/3 of their money on television deals. That's the heart of the business. So they don't need the average American to come to the game because the average American will watch it at home. Now they can run up the TV deals and the advertising dollars and then double back and make more money on the same seats because they marked them up like 3 or 4 times. And while that applies to most NFL games, the Super Bowl is the ultimate version of this. That's why we look at usually garbage Super Bowl commercials every single year. Because everybody's trying to have that same moment that Apple had back in the 80s.
On January 24th, Apple Computer introduced Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984.
Hey, let me ask you something. Your mother's breast milk, do you feel like it's nutritious? Or do you feel like you should be dehydrated from playing video games for your entire life?
I'm not gonna block you. I don't do that. I'll just humiliate yourself.
I'll just humiliate yourself.
Into their multi-million-dollar contract. So while they may not be paying in a traditional way, the NFL still gonna give you money. And all the companies, bro, they happy to pay you. Because to them, the Super Bowl is way more than the game. Dr. David Carter at USC Marshall School of Business said, the Super Bowl is not just a game. It's a social currency, a super powerful network tool. For those that can't afford it, attend it as a safe and crucial corporate networking opportunity. And an
Let me help you out.
personal experience. The market price reflects that exclusivity, extending far beyond the athletic contest itself. So that's the type of thinking that got us to the point where nearly every single seat in a Super Bowl stadium is already reserved before the real fans get an opportunity to fight over scraps. Guess I've always known some tickets was reserved, but bro, I ain't know it was this big. Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings. Another NFL season is in the books. Well, that's paid out in club. Most normal fans, players, coaches, staff. 35% of the tickets go to the 2 teams who are actually playing in the game. Each team gets roughly 17.5%, which is understandable. Like, you made the Super Bowl. Teams usually distribute them to season ticket holders, players, coaches, staff, and family members. In case it's not obvious, the players and the coaches don't need the tickets for themselves. They get the tickets and give them to whoever they want to. But even diehard fans of the teams that's playing, they're going to have a hard time getting a hold of those tickets. I mean, you're going to have to be in an exclusive club. Most normal fans won't qualify for it. So that's 35% of tickets already gone. Then you got the other 30 NFL teams that didn't make the Super Bowl. Each of them also receives a small allocation. We're talking 1.1% per team, which adds up quickly to 34%. Next up, you got the league office, who gets 25% of the tickets. Those go to major corporate sponsors, broadcast partners, league execs, and those they need to rub elbows with, bringing the total tickets going to 94%. So the fans get to fight over 6% of tickets. Nah, bro. You can't forget about the city that's hosting the Super Bowl. They get an allocation of about 5%. So another 5% goes to the host city. And that's used for local partners, city officials, like the mayor and all of them. They gotta get their photo out, right? So that puts us at a whopping 99% of tickets off the table. And all of that happens before the general fan ever gets a chance. So that leaves the general public scratching and clawing over 1% of total Super Bowl tickets. And that usually comes out to less than 1,000 available tickets for the general public. So it's the low 1% allotment that creates scarcity. And the rarer something is, the more valuable it is. Back in 2014, one fan actually tried to sue the league over this exact arrangement. Unfortunately, and obviously, I guess, the case wasn't successful and nothing changed. So this practice has continued, making Super Bowl tickets near a possibility. But that only explains one part of the issue, because scarcity alone don't create extreme prices. So when you look at the chart, bro, the prices was always going up because the game is getting bigger, the league's getting more fans. But at a certain point, they just start to multiply crazy. Why is that? What caused this crazy spike? Well, this was not coming.
Right on your forehead.
As we can actually trace this back to a single profession.
We'll scout the tickets. We can make maybe 500 a ticket. Ooh, I got two.
Game frame.
Come on, meet the scalper, aka the reseller. In the 1980s, the scalper was a shady dude outside the stadium, probably wearing a coat even though it's summertime, selling you tickets for marked up prices. Dude works cash on, got a nervous energy, because in most places what he's doing is illegal. But these facts, plus his lack of reach, means he really can't affect prices at scale. But in the 90s, the world starts to open up as the internet arrives in its infancy stage. The scalper slowly becomes more crafty and learns to leverage technology in his favor. Time goes on, and by the mid-2000s, the legal landscape had completely changed. The internet made those old scalping laws all completely unenforceable. Slowly but surely, state by state, those old laws started to vanish. All of a sudden, everything was in the scalper's favor. He could resell a ticket for as much as the market would pay and pit fans against each other to drive up the price. The scalper became known more as the reseller, and he's no longer limited by location or a small buying window. Back in the day, his best sales didn't actually come until after the game had already started. He was getting his highest prices from the desperate dudes who got there too late and didn't get a ticket. So he had to be in that specific location at that specific time. Now he can sell tickets all the way across the world 3 weeks before the game even starts. What used to be a shady side hustle is now going into $1 billion business. And as cool as that is for the reseller, it's cats like Joey Ab who's paying the tax. So in short, the league created scarcity by blocking off 99% of the tickets. Then the reseller used the internet to capitalize on that scarcity and drive the prices up so high that they went from looking like this to looking like this. Every single year, the resale market tests how much that scarcity is worth. And every year, the answer is exactly the same. More. Thanks to the 1% allotment, the supply stays the same. Meanwhile, the demand just keeps going up. 99% of tickets go to people of influence who use the game as a form of self-marketing, making the event highly desirable for non-football fans who love the attention. And then, bro, their followers start to place a premium on a game that they otherwise wouldn't care about. So then they cannonball into the pool of fans fighting over 1% of tickets. So the pool gets bigger, the bids get higher. That's how you end up with a chart like this. Regular people like our boy Joey Ab simply can't compete in this type of market. So the experience he could have had back in the day are just like those decades, a thing of the past. So at the end of the day, this is about an unavoidable truth. And it's about us, the human species. And don't get me wrong. Like, I understand why this happened. So don't get mad at me, bro. I'm just pointing out the facts. But every single person over-indexes for self with no real thought on how it affects other people. You always gonna come to the same end. Market's gonna crash, prices will balloon, way past anything that's remotely reasonable. And while these things might periodically be reset, they'll always regress back to the limits of the human heart, which at its core is selfish. As long as we're situated on this side of heaven, this is the reality that we gotta wrestle with. So build up your strength, man, and practice your technique so that the things of this world can never keep you pinned down.
Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to
take her out.
quarterback. The highest rated quarterback. The highest passer rating of any quarterback that played this year in the postseason was Sam Darnold. So it's Sam Darnold. Wow. Well, he played a flawless football game against a very good defensive team in the Rams. He's had 3 games with no turnovers.
Which one of these guys is going to be the runner-up to MVP?
Sam Darnold.
Which team has the better running backs, Colin?
I think New England's are underrated, but I would say Seattle, though they don't have a lot of depth. Kenneth Walker led all running backs 5.7 yards per touch in the playoffs. Like, he's been crazy explosive, and he's got good speed, but he also makes you miss. Highest rushing grade by any team this season was the Seahawks. Their run blocking O-line's pretty good. Now, I think Charbonnet, I don't think it would be, I think Seattle could be in trouble if it was like a 6-game stretch with no consistent backup running back. They do have a fullback they could employ, but I think he is kind of the star running back of this game.
Which team has the better pass catchers in this one?
I think that's New England. I think they have a mix of young and old. You get Stephon Diggs, you get Hunter Henry, Mac Hollins, so you get some veterans. Then you get Keishawn Butte and Kyle Williams. Williams isn't not getting a ton of touches, but man, he's explosive. They were tied for the fewest drops in the NFL this year. That is, again, coaching. Hunter Henry had a great year, finds himself. Seattle can be a little vulnerable to the title, maybe a little bit here, especially with the safety being done. So I think New England actually has one of the more interesting receiving groups in the league, and I think Seattle can be very reliant on JSN.
Okay. Which team has the better offensive line?
I think Seattle, and I don't think either is great, but Seattle grades very well as a run block O-line. Pass pro, and the thing about Seattle, they're all homegrown. You know, they drafted Charles Cross, Gray Zabel. It's a homegrown offensive line. They've drafted, they've been patient, they've developed. In terms of the ability to run the football, the advantage is to Seattle, so I would give the Hawks the O-line.
All right, let's go to defense. Which team has the better front 7?
Seattle has 4 different players with 7+ sacks. They're both good. I think Seattle's depth is crazy. Seattle also has not allowed a 100-yard rusher in 28 games, and that's notable because Christian McCaffrey, they played him a couple times.
Yeah.
So it is really hard. They also, Seattle, corners, safeties tackle well, so the front 7's good.
All right, let's go to the secondary. Which team has the better defensive?
It's kind of a coin flip to me. I think Devin Witherspoon's the best corner, so I'd probably go Seattle, but I love Christian Gonzalez. But now Nick Amenori, the coach said he's going to play. He's something else. So the other thing is Seattle secondary. Seattle was great defensively on 3rd down. That's talking of passing down. So Seattle was a big play secondary. They were very good. Remember, Matt Stafford was 0 for 6 on 3rd down, and Matt Stafford played well. So a lot of Super Bowl comes down to situational football. Secondaries, when you go secondary to secondary, if I have the best corner, Seattle, and unbelievable on 3rd down in that back end, you have to go Seattle.
Let's go to special teams. Which team has the better special teams in the Super Bowl?
I think everybody says Seattle, and I think that's a large part of that is Rashid Shaheed as a returner. New England's okay. Seattle was ranked 7th. So I know you're saying Seattle's going to blow them out this game, but sometimes the edges aren't pronounced. Like quarterback is, I think, close. I think coaching is New England. Experience, New England. Little older roster, which I like in this game, New England. I think Seattle's youth worries me. But I think special teams, I'd give the edge.
Finally, which team has the better play caller in the Super Bowl?
New England. I think Josh McDaniels is the best play caller in the league. His history is he tried as a head coach and it didn't work. But I think this is his third run with New England. So they keep bringing him back for a reason. I don't think he ever leaves. I think he'll stay. He loves his family, loves it. I also think if you looked at the play calling in a blizzard, I think he faced really good defenses. The O-line's not great. They played inclement weather. If you go back to key third downs for New England, pretty impressive. So I know what you're saying.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, but now let's be honest. Coaching and play calling are huge to New England. Pass catchers in 2026 is a big deal.
But you could argue the pass catchers, JSN's the best receiver in this game.
Well,
the Seattle tight ends, you raved about.
Seattle has very good high-end talent. I think the four best players in the game
breaks
are
are the Patriots.
And then I think when you go
These
5
baby
to
Patriots,
15,
baby
it's
Patriots.
evenly dispersed. Now,
Seahawks
star
gonna kill 'em.
players in big games. But I think a lot of it is
You give 100%, so we give back. Every game from every team, even 4 at once. Sideline sharp definition, stadium shape and sound, and the real U.S.
I think I still haven't picked who I think is going to win. I think New England against the spread feels like the bet. And I do think Seattle has a deeper roster, and I do think Seattle, but you can make up so much ground in coaching. I mean, a prime example is how did the dynasty for New England start? They were 14-point underdogs, and they coached there. That's before Brady was dominant. They had a good defense, New England, and a coaching edge, New England. And they were 14-point dogs and won. Ryan Fitzpatrick talked about this. The longer this game goes, the closer it is. That empowers the underdog. So you get a little tight in games. Seattle, I think Seattle wants to start fast because I think the coaching staff's like, listen, we don't want to go in mid-third quarter tied at 17. So, there you go.
Colin, I had to look this up. So, Sam Darnold, not much of a comeback guy, right? Hasn't had a lot of comebacks because he's a great front runner and the Seahawks that stakes and leads. They've got a lot of blowouts. Does that kind of muddy the water? Like, what if this is 17-14 Patriots with 4 minutes left? I mean, do you trust Sam Darnold to get it done? Because he hasn't really done that.
Well, he was against the Rams. He was very good on third down. So Seattle's been sort of a dicey red zone team. I think a lot of it's youth. I think also a lot of it is you kind of know JSN's the guy. So you kind of bracket, even though he'll get open, but you try to take JSN out. And then it was so many, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick hit on it. If you told me it was 24-7 at half, I would bet my 401k that would be Seattle. But if you told me the final score is 24-23, I'd probably 60-40 New England. Because that tells me New England wasn't overwhelmed on the offensive line. That's my concern, is that New England can't consistently block them. That's my concern. If you tell me it's 24-20 or 24-23, that tells me New England's offensive line is just fine. Now it's coming down to situational football and coaching. Well, Seattle gives the ball away. Seattle's very average in the red zone, and Seattle has a coaching disadvantage in terms of play call. So if you tell me it's close, and I think it will be, that's why I give the edge to New England.
Do you remember that Patriots-Rams Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Goff was an up-and-coming star. McVay was a genius offense. That offense lit up everybody all season. And Belichick and that spectacular defense almost shut them out. I think the final was 13-3.
It was.
Would you be surprised if Seattle, you look up at halftime and it's 13-0, and New England can't do anything? It's Colin. I'm just telling you, May is a young quarterback who takes a lot of sacks.
Yeah.
And this defense in McDonald has cooked up some schemes to stop basically everybody except Matt Stafford. And I know Baker Mayfield had a good game against him, but I'm a little starting to get worried about the Patriots. You start to drill down on this team, and it's like, well, Seattle's the best run D in the league.
Well, it's interesting. So Liam Cohen and the Jags had a great season. they played Seattle. And if you remember that game, they got, I mean, and Jacksonville,
They were at home in that game too, because I
And
think
God.
that Jacksonville.
and that's a long flight for Seattle from Jacksonville. We had Lee and Cole on, and I asked him, I mean, you're there, you're looking at
So-
film. I mean, you got work by Seattle. I think that's the only game this year where Jacksonville just got pushed around the field.
Yeah.
And here was Lee and Coleman facing the Seahawks.
They've got waves of rushers, right, Colin? Like, they've got groups up front in their front seven specifically that can really impact and affect the quarterback. They are exciting.
Nowhere to go.
Defense and then really offensively, a ton of explosive plays. Right? They lived and died by the explosive play. Sam's playing at a high level. I think their run game is really coming to life and thought they did great things over the course of the year.
Yeah, it's, listen, everybody is betting Seattle. Seattle's got more elite players. I am staking a lot of this in coaching experience and managing the game. But it is, I mean, I can tell in your voice, you really like Seattle. The numbers are telling you Seattle's the play. Now, and this year, if I recall, pros against the Joes did pretty well.
Yeah.
A lot of favorites won, so the casual fans did not. They had a good year.
I just looked up that Seattle Jags game. Jaguars did not get to the red zone once. I mean, that was a good offense this year in Jacksonville. That was before they traded for Jacoby Myers. But I mean, I'm going to take a look at, shutout, no touchdowns for the Patriots. I'll look at those odds, put some pizza money on them. Let's see what happens. I don't have a lot of faith in this Patriots offense, man. They couldn't do anything in the postseason so far. They were historic low point total after the game.
They played in snowstorm.
One half against Denver was in snow.
Well, Houston was awful.
I mean, fine. All right, I'll give you a half of the awful weather. Like,
Well, when's the last time you even shoveled snow?
2015 maybe? 14.
Okay. No, listen, I think when you go back to the early portions of that game, they moved the ball well enough. They, I think they're very good on third down.
Not facing Jared Stidham out here.